He's basically been a top 10 wide receiver for like a decade, and now you're drafting him at the wide receiver 16? Sounds to me like you need to draft some of these guys before your dumb friends catch on. What is going on, Headliner Nation? Hopefully everyone is doing well out there today. The season is right around the corner. We're dropping 5 videos a week, and your league mates are watching, so if you're not subscribed yet, you better, because you're going to fall behind if you don't. Now today we're going to be going through 5 players that are being drafted lower here in 2025 than they almost finish every single year. So let me tell you what we do in that situation. We straight take that draft day discount and then teabag our league mates all season long. So today I'm going to tell you where these players are currently going in drafts. Then I'm going to give you at least 7 reasons as to why the price that they're going at is just way too low. And then I'm going to tell you where we kind of expect them to finish this season. So if that right there has your draft finger getting a little bit moist, hit the like button, because we're diving right in, and we're starting with the new Rams wide receiver, Davante Adams. Now currently right now, Davante Adams is the 35th overall pick, the 16th wide receiver off the board. But here's some reasons as to why that number is way too low. He's getting a massive upgrade at the quarterback position. Over the last few seasons, he's had to deal with the likes of Aiden O'Connell, Jimmy G, a washed Aaron Rodgers in New York, but now he gets Matthew Stafford in LA, a quarterback that has continually produced high-performing fantasy wide receivers. How about number 2? He's in a Sean McVay wide receiver-friendly offense. McVay knows how to scheme wide receivers open. Look at Cooper Kupp's Triple Crown season and what Puka Nacua did in his historic rookie year. Adams will thrive in a creative, timing-based offense that knows how to get its stars the football. Number 3, Puka is going to draw away some defensive coverage. The emergence of Puka means defenses can't sell out to stop Davante Adams. They're going to have to pick their poison, and that should open up more single coverage and favorable matchups for Davante Adams. Number 4, he's a red zone monster. Adams has finished top 5 in red zone targets in every single year since 2016. It's 2025, y'all. He's been doing it for a long time. How about number 5? He's still winning routes despite aging. At 31 years old, he was still top 15 among all NFL wide receivers in targets, receptions, receiving yards, yards after the catch, touchdowns, and fantasy points per game. Number 6, he's motivated to get a ring. Time is running out, and he joined LA to make a run at a Super Bowl. Number 7, high volume equals high floor. He hasn't had less than 125 targets in a season since 2018. With Cooper Kupp gone and this heavy passing offense in LA, that number he should hit once again. Now number 8 is his past fantasy finishes. He's finished higher than wide receiver 16, which is where he is currently going, in 8 of the last 9 years he's played. The year that he didn't, he only played in 12 games, however, still finished inside the top 24 at the position. So let's go ahead and look at 2025 and build a realistic projection. And I'm going to start off with targets, and we're going with 125 this year. LA has 167 targets that were vacated from last season, and they didn't bring in Davante Adams to not use him. We're trying to be realistic, so I'm setting the target number at 125. That would mean right around 90 receptions. On average, Matthew Stafford delivers a catchable pass rate of 72%. 72% of 125 targets is going to put him right there in the neighborhood of 90 receptions, which means also he's going to end up with right around 1,080 yards on the low side. Adams has consistently hovered right around 11 to 12 yards per reception over his career, in 8 of his 11 years to be exact. So without getting too cute, if we use that average over 90 receptions, it's going to put him right around 1,100 yards, which means 9 touchdowns as well. He has had at least 8 touchdowns in 8 of the last 9 years, including in a poor, and I mean poor, Las Vegas and New York Jets offense. Now, if you take this entire projection, it's going to equal 207 half PPR points and would put him right around the area of wide receiver 11. Getting him at wide receiver 16, you better do it before your dumb league mates catch on. Now, if you want to know how many points you need from a certain player to return draft value, then you got to get yourself a 2025 fantasy football draft guide. It's just one of the sections that we offer alongside things like rankings, tier rankings, sleepers, breakouts, busts, injury analysis, and so much more. Head over to tfhdraftguide.com and get yours right now. There's links down below in the description. The next player you need to pay attention to, though, is DJ Moore of the Chicago Bears. Now, he is currently the 44th overall pick, the wide receiver 21 off the board, and let me give you some reasons as to why that is way too low. Number one, heavy target share ahead of 2025. DJ Moore is expected to lead Chicago in targets once again this year, marking 3 straight years at the top, even after seeing 136 in 2023 and 140 in 2024. Yes, they added Luther Burden, but don't forget they also lost Keenan Allen, and the 120 plus targets that he got last year. DJ Moore should still see heavy volume. Number two, how about consistent volume despite a quarterback change? Even with a rookie QB in Caleb Williams last year and multiple other options in the Bears 2024 offense, we still saw DJ Moore have elite volume. 140 targets, 98 receptions, and all the options on the offense didn't really hurt DJ Moore. How about number three? He re-signed for long-term production. DJ Moore locked in a lucrative 4-year, $110 million extension in July of 2024 with $82.6 million guaranteed, signaling that the Bears clearly see him as the centerpiece of their overall passing offense. Number four, the explosive plays. Despite a down year overall last year, DJ Moore still had multiple long touchdowns. He was third among all wide receivers in the NFL in yards after the catch yardage. He was 9th in red zone targets, 5th in target separation, and 7th in total route wins. Which takes us to number 5. The QB growth in Chicago is going to equal more upside for DJ Moore. Caleb Williams showed significant rookie growth, had 20 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions and a team record 3,541 passing yards as a rookie. As Williams improves behind a better upgraded offensive line, the ceiling of DJ Moore is going to increase as well. Number 6, how about a new head coach with an offensive background? Ben Johnson, the Bears' new head coach, former Lions offensive coordinator, has helmed offenses ranked top 5 in scoring and topped the league with 564 points just last season in 2024. We expect DJ Moore to be the primary beneficiary of this increased offense in Chicago. Number 8 is the depth on the team, but how DJ Moore still rises above. Now, yes, the wide receiver room includes the rising Rome Odunze and rookie Luther Burden. However, Moore's veteran status, plus his rapport that he already has with Caleb Williams and the contract he has, really makes him the anchor of the wide receiver group. Number 9, how about the overall upgrades to the offensive line? Offseason moves really bolstered protection for Caleb Williams, arguably the most improved offensive line in the NFL, which means more time in the pocket will equal more opportunity for explosive plays to DJ Moore, especially on those intermediate and deep routes. And then lastly, number 10, his past fantasy finishes. He's finished higher than wide receiver 21, which is where he's currently going, in 3 of his last 4 years, and this will arguably be the best offense he's ever been on. So let's build that realistic 2025 projection. When it comes to targets, I'm going with 140. He has averaged 135 targets a year since 2019. The addition of Ben Johnson isn't going to make this offense any worse. How about receptions? That's going to put him right around 100 receptions. Caleb last year had a catchable pass rate of 71.9%. Even with 0 improvements, Moore could still be right around 100 catches. That means 1,350 yards receiving. Now, for his career, he's averaging 13.5 yards per reception. And with his yak ability, he should remain in that area once again, putting him just over 1,300 yards. Then we get to touchdowns, and we're going with 7 touchdowns. He has had 22 touchdowns over the last 3 seasons, and with his red zone share and target volume, he's going to be right around 7 again this year. Now, if you total up this projection and convert it to fantasy points, it gives him 227 half PPR points and would put him right around the wide receiver 7 on the season. You're getting him at wide receiver 21. You better get him before your dumb friends catch on. How about a running back? Let's talk about Aaron Jones of the Minnesota Vikings. Currently 63rd overall and the 25th running back off the board. Now, a few reasons as to why that's too low. How about a career high workload in 2024? Jones carried the ball 255 times last season, a career best, and he racked up 1,138 rushing yards, both marks leading the Vikings offense. Now, Minnesota still had over 100 carries go to running backs outside of Aaron Jones. So those of you who are worried about Jordan Mason taking over, don't worry. There's touches available, and he allows Jones to not be overworked and stay efficient. Number 2, the dual threat with that receiving upside. Jones added 51 receptions for 408 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns last season. Now with that, he totaled 1,546 scrimmage yards. A super versatile performance that ranked him as the RB 16.5 PPR fantasy last season. Number 3, his efficiency. With a 4.5 yard per carry average on 255 carries, Jones was among the NFL's most efficient running backs. He ranked inside the top 15 running backs in the NFL in yards created, targets, red zone touches, and snap share. Number 4, his breakaway ability. He's one of the league's most explosive runners, earning at least 5 yards on 39.4% of his carries over the last 5 years, and that is the best rate among all running backs. Number 5, the team commitment and extension. He re-signed a 2-year, $20 million contract with $13 million guaranteed, really underlining Minnesota's strong confidence in him this offseason. How about number 6, the strong offensive line and overall offensive scheme. Minnesota enters 2025 with a top 10 offensive line and a quarterback starting for the first time. That will force him to really lean on the running game to take off additional pressure. Number 7, how about past fantasy finishes? Aaron Jones has finished higher than RB 25, which is where he's currently going, in every season he's played at least 13 games. And that right there really speaks to the big playability and efficiency of Aaron Jones. So let's go ahead and build that realistic 2025 projection. Let's go with 225 carries. We'll buy into the fact that maybe his volume this year decreases slightly due to the addition of Jordan Mason just to keep a bunch of people happy out there. If we do that, that's going to put him right around 1,058 rushing yards. For his career, he's averaging 4.9 yards per carry, but due to the increase in age, we'll drop it down to 4.7 for this exercise. But now we get to the receiving upside. We're going with 40 receptions. He's had 40 plus receptions in 5 of his last 6 seasons. The season he didn't, he only played in 11 games. That'll give us right around 300 receiving yards. He has been in the area of 7 yards per reception over the last few seasons. At just over 7 yards per reception for 40 receptions, we're looking right around 300 receiving yards, and then we're going with 7 total touchdowns. He has had a minimum of 7 touchdowns every season in which he's played at least 13 games. We all know that Aaron Jones isn't the most durable, and that's part of the reason we're getting the draft day discount. But the guy's still putting together super solid seasons despite missing time. Now, if we take this overall projection and convert it to fantasy points, it gives us 198 half PPR points, which would have made him a Verge top 15 running back in fantasy. Getting him at the RB 25, you better get him before your dumb league mates catch on. Now, another wide receiver has to be Calvin Ridley of the Tennessee Titans, currently 65th overall, the wide receiver 31, and here's some reasons why that number is just way too low. Number 1, he's a consistent 1,000-yard performer. Ridley has now hit the 1,000-yard mark in back-to-back seasons. Had just over 1,000 with 1,016 in 2023 with the Jacksonville Jaguars, had 1,017 in 2024 with Tennessee, proving durability and consistent production despite different quarterbacks. Number 2, a lucrative, committed role in the offense. The Titans signed him to a 4-year, $92 million contract with $50 million guaranteed guaranteed, making him the highest paid skill player on the team. He's clearly a focal point of the Tennessee offense. Number 3, how about growth in the second year of this offense? Reports are coming out and saying that Ridley is re-energized and he's mentoring rookie quarterback Cam Ward, which sets up great rapport and chemistry to really level up the production in his second year of this offense. Number 4, he's still an elite route runner. He's polished, he's versatile, he runs well from both outside and in the slot. He had just 3 drops in 2024, a very strong technical player with minimal miscues. We've seen that throughout his entire career. Number 5, he's an explosive deep threat. Ridley averaged 15.9 yards per reception in 2024. He was also 3rd among all NFL wide receivers in deep targets and 5th in average depth of target. They're looking for him deeper down the field. How about number 6? He's the clear wide receiver 1 on the team. With the likes of Tyler Boyd and Nick Westbrook-Ikhine now gone, Tennessee has replaced them with guys like Van Jefferson and an aging Tyler Lockett. Ridley clearly remains the undisputed number 1 option with no true competition for targets. How about number 7? The upgraded quarterback play. Cam Ward, the number 1 overall pick in 2025, brings accuracy and aggression. Ridley only averaged a catch rate of 53% last year on 120 targets. Ward's presence could dramatically raise that number. Number 8, the offensive scheme overall. Coach Brian Callahan's system. Remember, he's from Cincinnati. It's a very receiver-friendly offense. For years, we saw him draw up plays to really utilize wide receivers on the outside. That's going to be Calvin Ridley once again this season, which takes us to number 9, his past fantasy finishes. He has finished higher than wide receiver 31, where he's currently being drafted, in every single season he's played at least 13 games. And if we look at his last few seasons, the guy has remained on the field. But now let's build that realistic projection for 2025. We're starting at targets and we're going with 125. The quarterback upgrade to Cam Ward in this passing offense is only going to make Ridley more of a focal point in the passing game. So if we have 125 targets, we're looking at right around 81 receptions. Where most quarterbacks deliver a catchable pass rate around 70%, let's just go out there and be a little bit realistic and say that the rookie could struggle and go with 65%. That's going to put Ridley right around 81 receptions, which equals 1,134 yards receiving. We also don't want to project a super huge year when it comes to yards per reception, a number that isn't really realistic. However, it is something that Ridley has been known for over his career. We mentioned earlier that it was almost 16 yards per reception, but for this exercise, we're dropping it down to 14 to remain realistic. If we do that, he's just over 1,100 yards, and then we're going with 6 touchdowns. He had 5 last year with horrendous quarterback play. Due to the upgrade of the quarterback position alone, I gave him 1 extra here for 2025. Now, if we take that projection and we convert it to fantasy points, it equals 190 half PPR points and would have made him a Verge top 15 to 18 wide receiver. You're getting him at the wide receiver 31. So yes, you better get him before your dumb friends catch on. But I didn't want to go through this show and not include a quarterback as well, so we're going with Dak Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys. Currently 97th overall, the 14th quarterback off the board, and here's reasons why that number is way too low. Number 1, he's fully recovered from his hamstring injury. Dak participated fully in off-season workouts and confirmed he's 100% healthy ahead of training camp starting on July 22nd. He will be entering 2025 with no leg issues lingering from last year's Week 9 hamstring tear. How about number 2, the contract restructure? Dallas converted $45.75 million of Dak Prescott's 2025 salary into a signing bonus. That freed up $36 million in cap space. It signals both commitment to Dak and the ability for them to invest elsewhere. Number 3 is the guaranteed money he's gotten from the Dallas Cowboys. In September 2024, Prescott signed a massive 4-year, $240 million extension with $231 million guaranteed and an $80 million bonus. It's tying him to Dallas through the 2028 season and really cementing his leadership role in the offense. But then we get to number 4. It's new head coach Brian Schottenheimer. Schottenheimer was elevated from offensive coordinator to head coach in January. He brings a fresh, quarterback-friendly system, which could definitely unlock a more efficient offense in Dallas. McCarthy the last couple years would just call too many plays that had you scratching your heads. Number 5, how about the strengthened wide receiver group now with George Pickens? Adding Pickens gives Prescott a strong wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 combo alongside CeeDee Lamb. Pickens should ease pressure on Lamb and open up the offense with that big play capability. We're already seeing it in camp. Number 6 is still offensive depth. We got guys like Jalen Tolbert and tight end Jake Ferguson. Tolbert thrived in 2024 and Ferguson is finally fully healthy now. This improved skill position depth offers Dak reliable outlets beyond just his top 2 wide receivers. Number 7, it has to be the offensive line upgrades. The O-line is healthier and more cohesive in 2025. Reducing pressure that led to Prescott's lowest completion percentage and on-target rates in 2024 was a huge focus this offseason. Better protection equals better offensive rhythm. Number 8, how about a below average running game? I think most of us would agree that Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders is the worst backfield duo that we have seen in Dallas in quite some time. This is going to put more pressure on the passing game to move the football and put points up on the board. Number 9, how about a division full of offense? The Eagles, Commanders, and Giants will all be putting up big-time points in 2025. Dallas will be in shootouts more often than not, just trying to keep pace. And then number 10, how about his past fantasy finishes? Dak has finished higher than QB 14, where he's currently going, in 6 of his 9 seasons played. Each time he didn't, he played in less than 13 games. So let's build that realistic projection for 2025. Starting off with passing yards, we're going with 4,300. New offensive-minded head coach, added weapons in Pickens, and he's already gone over 4,300 yards in each of his last 3 healthy seasons. Touchdowns, we're going with 30 passing touchdowns. He's averaged 34 touchdowns a season in his last 3 healthy seasons. This number, very realistic. How about interceptions? We're going double digits still because we know Dak likes to hover right around 10 interceptions a year, so we're putting 10 interceptions here in the projection. But we also know that quarterbacks get some bonus points from their rushing upside. Not a whole lot for Dak. We're going 180 rushing yards. With all the lower body injuries that he's had over the years, his rushing total is bound to drop below 200 yards on the season, so we got him at 180 and then 1 rushing touchdown. He only has 5 rushing touchdowns total over his last 4 years combined. Now, if we take this overall projection and convert it to fantasy points, it's 296 half PPR points and would have made him a top 10 quarterback in fantasy football. Getting him at the quarterback 14 later in your drafts, you better get him before your dumb friends catch on. I get it, sometimes these aging vets, they're just not sexy on your fantasy football roster. But one of the ways to find the most success in fantasy football is getting those guys that can produce at a discount.